Hello to my effective living community across the world. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to some and reconnect others to a woman who is making things happen. She's amazing. And I was reading her bio and I said, oh my God, you're talking about somebody who has been putting in the work for a while. Now, here on Effective Living, I love to support doers, people who are making a difference and who aren't afraid to step out of the box to provide a service to humanity. I am here today joined with City Council District woman, Dr. Sheila McCotlin, right? I need to get that right. I got to get that right. Doctor, how are you doing today?
Greetings, good afternoon, Dr. Ricardo Allen, the infamous Dr. Allen. I am doing great. My name is Dr. Shirley McKellar, and I am the City Councilwoman, District 3 here in Tyler, Texas, Smith County.
So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're joined and we're focusing on the fact that this is election time. Yesterday in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I voted. Yep, Arlington, Texas is preparing to have, I believe, a new mayor. And I know a number of people on the ticket. And so I decided I was going out to vote. But not only am I going to vote, I say, you know what, Ricardo, you need to make sure that you support other influencers that are making a tremendous difference. And so when a good friend of ours connected us, Cynthia, she said, listen, this is a woman you need to know. She's amazing. And you're doing your thing. She's doing her thing. You all need to connect. And I said, I want to talk with her. And so we had a chance to talk for a few minutes. And I said, let's do an interview so East Texas can know Ricardo Miller endorses Dr. Sheila McCotlin. I believe that this is now going to be your second round in service to those wonderful people. So tell our viewing audience a little bit about yourself and how you came about to this place where you really wanted to provide a service back to your city and to your area.
Great. So first of all, let me thank you, the infamous Ricardo Allen, for inviting me to come onto your show. Yeah. But yes, I am a retired United States Army officer. My background is military, medical, entrepreneurship, as well as education. So I came from a family that are very politically active, have always been in this community. I saw them actually spending so much of their time working out there to make sure that the equality and equity for all mankind exist in East Texas, in Tyler, Texas in particular, which is where we lived. So at the age of 18, my father asked me, was I interested in working on a campaign? And so I said, absolutely. What are you going to pay me? And so he says, well, not that I cannot pay you, but it's all about service. And so he said, the pay can come later, but just remember, that's your way of giving back to the community that have given so much to you. So that was my first opportunity to work on a political campaign right here in Tyler, Texas, Smith County. And I did that. But I've had an amazing career from the civilian world to the military world. I've had so much experience. I've traveled all over the world in the military. So I thank everybody for the opportunities that have been given to me. So I want to pay it forward and give back to those people who have also lifted me up in my community here in Smith County in Tyler, Texas.
Dr. Shirley, you went ahead, got your education, you followed through, and you listened to your father. You made a commitment that you're going to provide service. I got someone right now say local election matters, and this is a voice from East Texas. I'm Miller. You said Allen. It's Ricardo Miller. And so I want to talk about, when you think about your district, when you think about the service that is needed now, after having served some time, I know you're looking forward to serving yet another term to ensure that you can fulfill what God's placed in your heart to provide for your district. Talk to us about that, because when you initially ran, you won. This last time around, I think it was November 19th, 2019.
2019, it was actually May 2019 with the
Okay.
runoff in June,
Okay.
because usually the local elections are, as a matter of fact, in May, but
Okay.
because of COVID-19, the election was put off and it actually happened in November this time around. But when I returned back, Ricardo, from the military, I returned back to my community. My community actually looked the same as it did when I left.
Okay.
And I was not pleased with that. I
Yep.
didn't see the growth that I was expecting to see. I did not see the growth that I saw in other parts of the city.
Yep.
And so I began first by running for United States Congress that covered 16 counties.
Okay.
And so I was not successful in that election, but I was able to be about in the community, already doing the work that
Yep.
was required to do anyways.
Yep.
And so many people came to me, set up a meeting and said, look, you've been already doing the work in this district, in this community, in
Yep.
Tyler, Texas.
Yep.
So why don't you run for this seat, District 3? Because you would be excellent for that. And that's actually how I got there and got to the point of running for city council. Didn't realize how much I would enjoy city government. I haven't enjoyed it thoroughly.
Dr. Sheila, tell us a little bit about Tyler, because we have an international audience and a national audience. This content will be definitely heavily pushed to Tyler and East Texas area, but for our international and national audience, tell them a little bit of something special. I know I love a few things I'm aware of about Tyler, but can you let our viewing audience know something that most people may not know?
Sure. Thank you for that. First of all, Tyler, Texas is a beautiful, beautiful area in which to live. Many people may not know that Tyler is the rose capital of the world. I came from the Rose Growers Association. My father grew roses, watermelons, potatoes. So when you came into Tyler, Texas, and you were looking for roses, you could come to our land, our farm, and see the beautiful, beautiful roses. So that's one of the things that make Tyler stand out. The other thing is Tyler is a very beautiful city. We're actually the medical capital of East Texas.
Okay.
We have our medical school that's coming very soon. We have nursing schools. This is where people come out from the rural areas to come into the city, Tyler, Texas, in order to get their health care. So we're noted for healthcare. We now have University of Texas. We have the nursing schools here. And then now two of the hospitals have married together. And so we actually have an amazing University of Texas system here. So that's one of the other areas that you have to look at. If you're looking for a job and you're in the medical profession, you can always find a position right here in Tyler, Texas. That growth is tremendous growth. Go ahead.
I have a friend that's not so long graduated from medical school who actually relocated to Tyler, Texas, and is doing extremely well. I'm super proud of her because I remember her as a young lady growing up in our children's program, and now she's a proud home owner there in Tyler. And just doing wonderful things. Let me ask you this question. There are people who would have was born and raised in Tyler, but they went to the north, they went to the south, they went to the west, they went outside. You chose to stay. You chose to come back after traveling the world and experiencing a lot in regards to becoming the woman you are. You could have decided to do a lot of things outside of that, out of Tyler as well. What kept you home, or what kept you staying in Tyler and then deciding, you know what, not only am I going to stay, I'm going to serve my community?
Very good. That's an excellent question. As a matter of fact, the reason why I decided to come back to my own roots, I said that my city deserves to have the education and the opportunities and the experience that I have developed traveling around the world. And so what more important than to give it back to the community that gave so much back to you? And plus my parents were here. And I wanted to have the opportunity to spend those precious days with my parents. So I wanted to share the knowledge and the experience that I had acquired, and that this city and this community and the state, as well as the United States, have paid for me to be able to get those serving in the United States Army. So that's why I chose to come back, so I could bring the knowledge that I had acquired and bring it back to the community that had given me so much from my youth up.
Why is it important for those in Tyler to vote? I mean, these are critical times, but some would say this is not the general election. And I don't do this particular election. I only focus on the big one. But this one is important for the locals. This one is very, very important for those who are needing to see certain training, certain services and training and development and so forth. But you're there. Why is it important for Tyler to show up and show up strong over the next couple of days?
Thank you. Excellent question. First of all, I want the city of Tyler to remember that our ancestors fought really hard that we may have the opportunity to vote, number one. And number two, our vote is our voice. If we don't like what we see, then voting is the opportunity to make that change in your community, to help the growth of your community. And then number three, all politics is local. And so that shows that you have the opportunity to make that change in your own community, something that you may want to see differently from what is going on right now. It affects you, your kitchen table issues. Every single thing that we do day to day affects what we do locally. So all politics are local. It determines the potholes in your streets, and people can always relate to potholes in your streets. The infrastructure. I say to people, remember the freeze that we had in February? So we want to make sure that that never happens again. So we want to make sure that we vote the right people into office that's going to look out for our behalf to make sure that our lives are safe and economic growth continues to exist in our own communities.
I know you guys have three that I know of. I know these three more specifically. There are a lot more, but I know these three that pops out to mind. That would be Terrell, you have Longview, you have Marshall. Three thriving, contending cities coming and emerging in the East Texas area as strong, small town developing cities in their own right. What do you want to see Terrell do a lot more of to keep itself the beacon, the stronger, the example for the area? What do you want to see more of in this, if and when given the chance to serve this next term around?
Sure. So let me just say to you that Tyler, Texas is a stronghold of East Texas. And so goes East Texas. I say so goes the state of Texas. So, but let me just say, so goes Tyler, Texas. So goes East Texas. People pick up on what happens in the city of Tyler, all the other cities out and around East Texas. They notice what happens and what's going on in Tyler, Texas. We have lots of wealth in Tyler, Texas. But let me go specifically to my district, District 3. That is the historical origination of Tyler, Texas. So I want District 3 not to be looked at as a low-income district, but as a very thriving district. I want to see more economic growth, businesses, restaurants, supermarkets. Right now, we don't have a supermarket in North Tyler proper. I want to see that happen, and also want to see other forms of, just say, not so much as affordable homes. Affordable homes are great, and we need affordable homes, but there may be some people that can go to the next level as far as their homes are concerned. So we want to see some $300,000 homes, and they're being built right now. We thank some of the Black construction owners and builders who are doing some amazing work within my district. And then, of course, Ricardo, we're going to have the medical school here in Tyler, Texas very soon. We have the hospital there on Highway 271, which is just 2 or 3 minutes, just say 5 minutes from where my district begins. So there may be some of those physicians that you talked about early on that may want to build a home over on this side of the city so they can be 5-10 minutes from their place of employment. They may not want to go across town. So
Yep.
that's why we want to have the affordable homes, we want to have the mid-level homes, and the high-level homes right in our district. We want our district to look like all of the other parts of the city.
Nice. Very, very nice. I noticed that you had an initiative being promoted, Black Vote Matters. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Excellent. Well, on yesterday we had an amazing time here in the city of Tyler, and everywhere I go, from Washington, D.C. to the Austin, Texas, to all over Texas, to every state in the union that I travel, I always ring the bell about what Tyler, Texas has to offer. And I also tell them, but it depends upon your getting out to vote. Your ancestors pushed that we may be able to vote. So that vote is important. So I want the people of color, the African American people, the Black people to know that their vote matters, their voice matters. And so we had them to come in from Atlanta, Georgia. They're traveling all over Texas because I have always said to them that Texas is a battleground state. We have so many people in East Texas who should be registered and are not. And then there are some who are registered that do not get out to the polls to vote. So that was our goal yesterday, was to emphasize to the Black voters that your voice, your vote matters. It was an amazing experience. And so we thank Black Voters Matter organization for coming to Tyler, Texas. That is the first. And so we thank God for the history that we made on yesterday by being able to get them down so that the people could see that there are others who care about them and their vote and their voice.
Nice, nice. Dr. Shirley, I want to ask, there are people watching us today, and they're going to ask, why should we vote for you this time? And just go ahead and challenge them. And ladies and gentlemen, before you do that, please do me a favor and share this live. Invite somebody to watch this, and more specifically, especially those of you in the East Texas area, more specifically Tyler, share, tag, get the word out. And so go ahead, tell our viewing audience, why vote for you? And I'm excited because I know you're going to be real elected, and this is going to be a chance where you're going to be given more time to serve this community and provide some of the growth and development that you've been wanting to see happen in this area for a long time. But go ahead and give them your view as to why you're the candidate to vote for.
Thank you. That's an excellent, I love that question. That's an excellent one. Well, I think that we have learned that it's so important to have people in office who have the experience, who have the background, who have the knowledge. And I was able to bring that with me to this particular seat. There's one thing that I can tell you, and I thank God for this, is that we were able to accomplish things even during COVID-19. 1 year of these last 2 years have spent, as you know, in hibernation kind of sort of, so to speak. But we have been able to put infrastructure in for a new subdevelopment that's going to be in Tyler, Texas, in East Texas, in my district, District 3. And that's the Hidden Palace subdivision. That's an affordable home for those first-time buyers that have never bought a home before, that they could get qualified to purchase that home. That sits right in my district, and I'm so delighted about that. And right next door to it is also the new fire station. And then let me just share with you, Ricardo, that I spoke with our city officials, our city council, and the mayor, and said we need more money in District 2 and 3. That's shared with Councilman Broderick McGee and myself. So I was able to get them to bring in $1 million into our district. We're going to get more sidewalks. We even have bike trails. When I first came into office, there were no parks open in District 3, and now we have 4 parks open, and I'm responsible for 3 of those parks. We were able to find the funding in order to get that money to get those parks up and open, and we had our ribbon cutting ceremony already this past week. So I know how to get money. I know how to ask for money. I don't bite my tongue about it. They know that I want money in District 3, and so I just put it up front. I need money in District 3. And once again, I am the best candidate for the job because I do come with the experience. And not only that, Mr. Ricardo, I know North Tyler District 3 like the back of my hand because my ancestors, I'm the 5th generation to be in the city of Tyler, Texas.
Come on, born and raised.
Born and bred right here.
That's what
Yes,
I'm talking
sir.
about. That's what
Yes,
I'm talking about. So as we prepare to bring our talk to a close, any final remarks that you want to remind people about? I'm excited about on Saturday. I'm planning on making my way to East Texas. East Texas, if you're listening, I'm telling you, I'm coming to celebrate and I'm coming to rejoice because we're going into a second term in office to serve the people and to bring about further development and growth to an area that somebody who knows what needs to be brought to the area is going to be serving you yet for another term. So what we need you to go out and vote. Now, your closing remarks, what are you going to challenge those that are watching that have not voted but need to vote, and there's still an opportunity for them?
Great. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Ricardo. It's been amazing. I've enjoyed myself. But what I say to the people is you have one more hour, even in this early voting. The voting polls close at 7 p.m. tonight. So you have about an hour to get over there. Don't wait until Election Day. Anything could happen. So why wait? Just get on down to the polls and vote. And remember, no one can take that voice away from you, and don't ever allow them to do that. And secondly, we want you to join us on this Saturday from 4 p.m. until 8 o'clock with our block party election night watch party. That's going to be at the Texas African American Museum at 309 West Martin Luther King Boulevard, right there in the city of Tyler, in the heart of my district. And let me just tell you that your vote, my reelection, I will always have my boots on the ground until they shove the dust over my face. I will continue to work for the great city of Tyler, Texas.
I love it. I love it. Your passion and commitment is amazing. And I've been watching, you've been going, you've been working, and you've been serving the people. And so I'm looking forward to being down there for the block party on Saturday. And let's do this again. We might be able to pull this off on Friday and remind people tomorrow is the big day. Everybody needs to come out strong. But as you mentioned, there's still an hour, ladies and gentlemen, that you can go ahead and take advantage of early voting. And then for the rest of you guys, Election Day, I believe it is Saturday, right?
Correct. Saturday, 7A, 7P. And you can vote at any location. Doesn't matter where you live in the city of Tyler in Smith County. You can vote at any polling booth. So get on down there and vote if you miss it this afternoon.
That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I told you here on Effective Living, we support movement. We support progress. We support getting better in every sense of the word. Go forward today and tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to contribute. I'm going to provide a service. I'm going to make my vote count. I'm going to make my vote count. And so, Dr. Sheila, thank you so much for taking this time out and sharing your heart with me and our viewers. We're excited about this weekend. We're loving the fact that, another term is going to be given to you, and you're going to be able to bring about a lot of what you've been wanting to see happen there in Tyler District 3. Get ready for this weekend. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ricardo. We will see you very soon on Saturday. We look forward to it.
On Saturday, it's going to be great. Bye-bye,
and
guys.
The citizens, get to the polls to vote. Thank you very much.
Get to the polls to vote. Don't forget, get to the polls and vote, everyone.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye for now.